So our focus here today is to explore the challenges and realities faced by older women and their caregivers in America today. These are urgent issues that will affect our nation's workplaces, public policy, and economy for years to come. Seated right next to me is Arianna Huffington. She is the co-founder and editor-in-chief of the Huffington Post. Next to her is Mike King. He's the national president and CEO of Volunteers of America. Next in the panel is Debra Ness, president of the National Partnership for Women and Families. Finally, we round out today's panel with Lorraine Cortés-Vázquez, executive vice president of multicultural markets and engagement at AARP. Thank you all so much for joining our discussion today.
There is something in our culture that does not celebrate old age, that does not celebrate growing older. And I come from Greece. This accent is for real, in case you're wondering. And we revere old age. I feel that what we need to recreate that reverence and that respect for aging and for what age brings. And if we do that, we're going to make it easier to provide care for all the people. First of all, you would want them around. It's so important that the way that culturally we tend to segregate all the people immediately in nursing homes away so we don't see them, they don't remind us that we are going to age one day, is something which we need to confront head-on as a culture, because when we confront the cultural element, we'll be able to address the problems of caregiving much more effectively.
When you look at what's happening to older women and caregivers, it's not a pretty picture today. The good news is women are living longer, but the bad news is they're living poorer and they're living sicker. Women tend to be on Medicare an average of 15 years, while for men it's only 7 years. And women tend to depend on Medicare for the bulk of their income, whereas that's not quite so much the case for men.
I think the greatest unfairness is you would think that the workplace would reward women for taking care of their parents, as opposed to penalizing them in terms of their career, their income, and the number of years they work. So well put.
Take into account that this is an incredible asset that society is getting when families choose to care for the older parent or the older family member. And those things need to be supported rather than looking at institutionalization, which is incredibly costly. And this alternative is a much more reasonable alternative, and we need to make provisions to make that possible. We spend $42.5 billion on long-term care in this country, and of which only 32% go for long-term care support services, meaning living in the home, community and based. 32%. That means 2/3 go to institutional living. And yet we've had this panel consistently say, as well as your study and everything else consistently say, that the trend is opposite that.
I work for an organization that we take care of 30,000 seniors every day. Every day in America, we're taking care of 30,000 seniors through affordable housing, okay, through assisted living, through skilled nursing, through PACE, all-inclusive programs for the elderly. I think the critical thing about the budget solution is that we have to drive a stake in the ground and decide we're not going to balance the budget on the backs of all the older Americans who created this country for us.
That's a great point.
Right. We have to just drive the stake in the ground and say, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do it.
Thank you so much again for your inspiration and enthusiasm.